everyone that's donated so far. Raffle buckets are still going round, so if you want to chip in, please do so. Some amazing raffle prizes that the guys are going to introduce. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Dan Bardell, Tom Julian, and of course, Chris Dolan.
Welcome to the Villa View Live. Thank you so much for being here. Honestly, this is absolutely mental. Thank you so much for giving up your evening to be with us tonight. It's absolutely incredible, lads.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I mean,
yeah.
we'll get into the podcast of it all, but what does this mean to you boys?
Nuts. I can't believe this many people are interested in what we have to say, and especially interested in what Tom has to say. I just find that absolutely amazing. If you're wondering why we started so late, it's because we were waiting for Kevan Grealish, so that's why we're an hour late starting. Dolan?
Oh man, it's just crazy like to come here after what's happened over the last few weeks, and just for everyone to come down and see us and listen to what we've got to say. It's pretty special. Just thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah,
like, it's really like special. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. So before we get into it, I saw loads of people buying raffle tickets. Absolutely amazing. So we're supporting the AVFC Foundation tonight, and also, come on, enough to drink over there.
It's on YouTube.
And also Alzheimer's UK research as well. So please dig deep. There's obviously a raffle, as you know, loads of great prizes. We're also going to have an auction, and we've got some really wicked prizes. You might have seen the auction list around. So if you can, please dig deep, because all the money goes to good causes, not to us. So that's great. We're also going to have some mug sales, which do go to us. So if you fancy getting a mug, you can. And of course, we have Brian Little, Aston Villa legend, in the house. So make sure you go and see Brian. Buy his book. A little is enough. He'll sign it for you.
It's a great Father's Day gift, isn't it?
Great Father's Day gift.
Yeah, it really
very
is.
Good. That.
I should say it feels very wrong that we're sat here and Brian's over there. It does not feel right at all.
We're going to have a little chat with Brian a little bit later on, but let's get to it, boys. The Villa View podcast. Nice to have us all here.
It's the first time, isn't it?
Once.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah, and we're Premier League.
I know, amazing. I mean, if we weren't Premier League,
We wouldn't
there'd
be
probably
doing
be about 5 people here. Yeah. So it's good that we've got something to celebrate.
Dan, you and I already chatted immediately after the playoff final, and you said you couldn't believe it hadn't sunk in. How's it feel now? You happy that we're Premier League?
Well, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm delighted, mate. It feels more real now. I've walked in with the playoff trophy. To be honest, I think when the fixtures came out last week, I did start to think it's real. The fact we're going to Spurs first day, obviously, a new ground. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about the fixtures. I'm sure that's on the famous Tom Julian notes.
Very much so, yeah.
But it won't properly sink in until I'm there watching it, and I can't wait, as I'm sure everyone here can't wait either.
Yeah, Dolan, we missed you at Wembley. You're obviously watching from Ibiza. How was your viewpoint? Obviously, a few beers in.
Yeah, it was absolutely steaming. No, there was a couple of Villa fans in the bar as well, and just hugging everyone, and it's just amazing. Like, we're all strangers, but it kind of feels like we all know each other, and it's just like, it just feels like, even though we've been in the championship for the past three seasons, you kind of feel you've grown closer.
Yeah.
To everyone, the club, the fans, because there was that disconnect I felt towards the end of our time in the Premier League. There was a lot of animosity, and I think it's the only way is up, and I think it's going to get better and better.
And it was such a mad season, right? Obviously,
it doesn't feel like the same season though,
doesn't it? Right. So you've got Steve Bruce to start it off. Everything goes catastrophically wrong, and then Villa with an absolute masterstroke. I think we can all agree. Dean Smith comes in, but it doesn't start brilliantly.
It started all right. But the middle part wasn't great.
It didn't go so smoothly, and then to finish it the way it did, it was just, you couldn't write that.
No, we've said on previous podcasts, like, it feels in about 3 or 4 seasons rolled into one, doesn't it? There was so much going on, 2 different managers.
So stress.
Just on different teams as well, because obviously we brought Mings and Hawes and people in January as well. We were Blassie in the first half of the season. He wasn't there in the second half of the season. I just want to query, have you nicked my beer? Because I had a beer when I walked in and it's not there. Have you nicked my beer?
Yeah, that one's definitely...
Sorry, some difficulties.
Just get the important stuff out of the way.
So
The Villa view, often shambolic, but always likeable.
It's probably fair. Probably the truest review we've ever had.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So now we are Premier League, and we've started making some moves. We've got. I mean, it's been a busy week. At the start of the week, I started making my notes, and then everything went mad. So we obviously announced Hotter.
I told you how to say that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we had to practice that. So he signs from Birmingham. Gary Gardner goes the other way. Good bit of business?
It's a big loss, Gary Gardner, obviously. He's done he's done bits for Villa over the last 7 or 8 years. I'm sure we all wish him well in his quest at Birmingham City, but to be fair, at the end of the day, I look at it as in we've spent £2 million on Birmingham's £6 million record signing. So it's bad for them, isn't it, really?
Standard.
Yeah.
Dolan, what do you think? Hotter gonna make it in the Prem?
I wasn't too blown away by it, but listen, if Dean Smith wants to get him in, then at the minute Dean Smith can do no wrong. So he's got to trust him.
Yeah.
And you want players in the squad and within the team and the squad that he can trust and that know how he wants to play. So I mean, listen, if he wants to sign Hotter, then he can do what he wants.
Dean Smith said, I'm really happy to have him back working with us. He's got great ability, great balance, and a great eye for both goals and assists. At this point, are we just trusting in Smith because he has earned every bit of that trust?
Like Dolan says, you have to. He barely put a foot wrong, hasn't he? If you think about the players he brought in January, they all made us better, and they contribute to us eventually going up. It's a player he's worked with before. If I think back to that awful Brentford game where we lost 3-0, it was awful, and he ran rings round us, to be fair, didn't he? I know it's a different time, then we've got different players, but he's played under Dean Smith before. I think he's only a squad player. He's not going to come in and be first choice. We need people like that because we haven't got the biggest squad. We've got work to do just to break even with the squad that we had last year because we've got to try and get all the loans back. So I think it's a smart business. It doesn't take much out of your transfer budget. It's someone that's worked with Dean Smith before, so I think it's a no-brainer, really.
It's nice to have a transfer budget again, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously this time last year we didn't really have one, did we?
Yeah.
We couldn't pay the electricity bill, so we've moved on leaps and bounds in 12 months.
Absolutely. And one transfer that caught us all a bit on the hop this week, Wesley joins from Club Bruges. If you haven't seen, Sam Teague is a decent follow on Twitter. He did a bit of a deep dive thread on Wesley. The main thing I took away from it was he works hard for the team, a good guy around the changing room. I can't pretend that I know anything about Wesley other than that. Dan, you got any pearls of wisdom?
Actually, Dolan said he wanted to speak about Wesley. He said he knew a lot about his history.
You love the Belgian league, don't you, Dolan?
Do I?
Yeah, big fan.
Oh, yeah. Don't know. No, there was a bit on that tweet that he said he's very aggressive. So there's that. Who's the guy that plays for Rangers?
Morales, the one that gets sent off every week.
He gets sent off every week, so you sort of worry that it could be a bit. He could cost us a couple of silly fouls. But listen, nobody here knows who he is. I mean, does anyone know who he is? Anyone?
I tell you
Any
what,
Belgians
Anyone?
in the house?
Over here. Oh.
75 rated on FIFA, so he must be decent.
It sounds to me like he's a bit of a Suso signing, so we'll have to wait and see how.
Patrick against?
Patrick gets her.
Against?
Kalinic, oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Kalinic dived out of the way for a free, didn't they? Yeah, I think again you've got to trust the team and trust what they're doing. I don't think it will be the only striker that we sign, and as I say, we need options. But if you spend 20-ish million on someone, you expect them to play. Really.
Does this spell the end for Tammy though?
I don't know.
Similar build, similar player.
I still think we'll try and get Tammy, if I'm being honest.
Do you?
I don't know anything, but I think we'll still.
I can't say it's bringing in him, Tammy, plus a 25 million euro.
You need strikers.
Yeah.
And plus, you're buying someone as well that hasn't played in the Premier League before, so hasn't played in England before. I know Benteke, when we got him in from Belgium, he hit the ground running, but that doesn't happen too often. So I think you've got to give him a chance to settle in and stuff. We've seen with players at Villa in the previous years, you need time for them to settle in. A lot of times, as Villa fans, you go on Twitter and you say, "Oh, so and so is rubbish." so and so is awful, and then 3 months later when they've settled in, everyone's like, oh, he's brilliant. I've never doubted him.
Yeah.
So you got to give people time.
Yeah, I was saying this to someone earlier. If Wesley can get an early goal, find his feet, and then he could be as effective as Benteke was for us. Obviously, Benteke in later years hasn't shown to be the player that he was at Villa, but you know, if he can be that player for Villa again, then we've got a very, very good signing. 22 years old as well.
Yeah, he fits the profile.
It did take Benteke a while to settle in, didn't it?
I think he had some iffy
couple of dodgy
but
games.
when he hit the ground running, he hit the ground running.
Yeah.
It's good, it's exciting, and the latest transfer, Jack Butland, hasn't officially been announced, but a lot of people saying that the deal is done.
Yeah, from what we hear.
I don't know anything about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you tweeted last night, welcome to the...
Denies all knowledge.
I got a text from Dan saying, are you on the Bears? I was like,
I assumed you were on the Bears.
I wasn't on the Bears, no. I was watching the golf, actually.
No, okay. We've got to speak up, Chris, we've been told.
Sorry.
Yeah, hopefully that goes through. England goalkeeper. I think if he's playing in the Premier League, I think he gives Pickford a run for his money in between the sticks for England. So, obviously, he already lives in the area. He's still 26, which is young for a goalkeeper. I do think it's a little bit harsh on Jed Steer.
I was going to say, you feel a bit sorry for Steer.
It doesn't sit great with me, but I think they're showing you've got to be ruthless, and we are being a bit ruthless at the moment.
Yeah, Dolan, Jed Steer, where does he go? Because obviously he became the hero of Villa, but you know, did he show enough to warrant that Premier League start?
I don't know. I mean, we've not been in the league for the last 3 seasons, so and he's never played in the Premier League, so. It is harsh because I think anyone that played last season to get us where we are deserves a chance. So it's harsh, but in saying that, I wouldn't be too confident going into the Premier League season with Jed Steer as my number one.
I think that's harsh. I don't think he's done. I don't think we could judge him because, like you say, he's never done it. I'd be tempted to start the season with Steer.
Obviously, the big one that we all want announced is Tyrone Mings. Right. So. Can we just get on with that? Can we announce Tyrone Mings? It'd be nice if we could announce it right here. Imagine if he came through them doors. Lifted the trophy, still in his kit. That'd be amazing. Centre-back is a place that we need to address still, right?
Yeah.
We lose Twanzebe, we lose Mings. Do you think Mings is still going to be the guy?
I think he will come. I think there's some issues behind the scenes with getting it fully over the line, but I think we'll overcome those hurdles. I think it's a no-brainer for Villa. And it's a no-brainer for Mings because he did so well here. I don't think too many players have come into Villa short term.
I've never known a player to come in
like that
and
just got it. He just gets it, Mings. And I'd be shocked if he didn't come because I think it's so good for his career. I know Brighton are apparently interested in him, which may benefit him in other ways. But I think he wants to come. He's still liking Villa stuff on Twitter. He's
liked your tweet, didn't he? But did you not?
Yeah, I was on Sports News on Thursday when the fixtures came out.
Humble brag.
Yeah, I was a humble brag. And I called him out saying we need you to sign Tyrone, and he's liking those tweets. So you presume he'll sign.
How much do you read into that?
Oh, big time.
Do you? You go, especially if it's you.
If it gets over the line, you all know who to thank.
Yeah.
Our very own ITK over there. Dolan, Mings still the one for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you know, everyone knows that I love James Chester. You know, he's a geezer, but
He's your brother.
apparently so, yeah. But I've never known a player like Mings to come in and just command the respect of the whole things. He just came in and it was as if he'd been here forever. And we've had some pretty special centre backs over the last 15, 20 years. But he's up there for me. I think he's up there as one of the best I've come across, I've seen. You know, a real leader. And for someone to come back after having such injury problems and to walk into, because he hasn't played for a big club before, let's face it, Ipswich and Bournemouth.
Nah.
Not a big club. You walk out here and it's pretty frightening by all accounts, and the guy's been an absolute legend, a rock.
Beast.
And Adonis.
And Adonis,
I mean, what a six-pack, you know?
Yeah. Can we just have a round of applause for James Chester, though, just for playing through the pain barrier? I think people forget actually how much James Chester did now. Like, he's basically set back his career,
his
a little
career
bit
on the
by
line,
playing through for injury, so he deserves a lot of praise, Chester, and great to see him lifting the trophy.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Kind of skipped over Anwar El Ghazi, who also signed on Monday, so it's been a busy week actually, considering it's a very quiet period in the season. El Ghazi totally earned his right to kind of complete the move. As it
Were you not sure about him at one point, if I imagine that?
I wasn't sure.
I was big on El Ghazi.
I wasn't sure.
Was it you?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. No, just...
I just found him very.
And I turned out to be right.
He was very hit or miss. I think I felt he decided when to turn up. We were at Reading away, and he just.
I mean, they were all awful there. Let's face it.
And then Brentford away, he went down and he was like, "Oh yeah, got to go off." And I think when Smith referred to players throwing their hands up, I think maybe a bit of that was directed towards El Ghazi. I think you could see him. He's a bit of a moan, a bit of a huff. I think he's very much a confidence player. I think you've got to put your arm around him.
Yeah, but that often happens with wingers, doesn't it? That's a kind of a character trait of a winger, would you say?
Well, for me, I mean, he's so direct, and I think his best game he's had in the Villa was the playoff final, which was frightening. And if he can replicate anything like that form, then we've got an absolute bargain on our hands. €5 million, apparently.
I mean, he's played on a big stage a number of times. He's played for Holland, and bad players don't generally play.
Scored at
for
Newcastle
Holland,
as well.
So I think the playoff final was a sign of things to come with him, because I think he's a big game player, and I think when the big games come in the Premier League, I think he'll turn up. Oh, passing notes. Oh, sorry. Everyone can see it.
Tyrone
Mings is on.
Yeah, exactly. Announce Mings. Here it is. That'd be the worst way to announce it, wouldn't it? We're going to take a short interlude in our. We're not going to stop this, but we are going to deviate from the notes, which I don't like to do, but we are going to do it. We were going to do this at the end, but squad numbers game. Dan, if you have never watched the podcast before, why are you here? First of all, Dan Bardell is an absolute machine when it comes to squad numbers. Yeah. It's frightening how much he knows about the most irrelevant of Villa players.
It's not a good skill.
No, it's not.
It's not useful.
Not useful in any stretch. So I've got 5 squad numbers here, and they get progressively harder, in my opinion. We can share this microphone, Dan, while you're struggling. All right. What we'll do here is we'll let Dan answer, and then if you've got a conflicting answer, stick your hand up, and we'll see if we can get a bit of rivalry, the audience versus Bardell.
I mean, I'm imagining. No, does anyone else here think that they're like a squad numbers expert?
Oh yeah, good shout.
Oh, Tom, come on, Tom.
No, nobody's brave enough to go early.
No,
right.
no one wants to admit it.
No, exactly. Right, okay, so let's start. 1994 to 95 season. This is quite an easy one to start.
I bet it's not.
Number 22.
Did he leave? Did he leave through that season? Was there 2? I think there was 2.
This one...
Brian will know, because Brian dished out those questions.
Brian I've got no idea. Don't put it on him.
I think I know who he is.
This is do you want to go...
Well, I think there was one player and then he got swapped and then another one came in and took that number.
I'll give you a clue. He changed numbers that season. Oh, no, not that season, sorry, but later in his career he moved to another number.
Okay, is it Gary Charles?
It is Gary Charles. Right. Yeah, very good. Well done. One under your belt.
I can't believe there was a whoop.
All right, we're 1 for 1. 1997 to 98 season, number 16.
97, 98?
Yeah. I'm so nervous that the notes are wrong.
16? Simon Grayson.
Any other guesses? We think he's right? He is right. That's 2 for 2. Scored twice in the FA Cup final.
Can I just ask, like, how did you become a bit of a freak?
I don't know. As I say, it's like it's not a great skill to have. But when I was a kid, I just was obsessed by it for some reason, and obsessed with who I was going to get on the back of my shirt. It's a bit like that now, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not really changed.
All right, number 3, 2001-2002 season, number 30.
Cash Law.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Easy me, isn't it? Right, they get a little bit tougher here.
No.
All right, 1996 to 97 season, number 24.
I don't know that.
Oh. I've got a great clue.
What season?
96.
I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, it's tough.
The clue? I think I do know, actually.
He's now the kit man at Bristol City.
Scott Murray.
Oh my goodness! How'd you get it from the clue?
Because I know he's the kit man in Bristol.
All right, this is the one. 4 out of 4. Can you complete it? 1995-96 season. Number 23.
I've not got that.
Now, he was at Villa, according to my limited research, I think for 6 or 7 seasons, Brian, but only played twice. Can you tell us why you didn't pick him?
96, 97?
95, 96. I can give you a clue.
95, 96.
95, 96, number 23.
I'll take a clue, I think, because I don't know it.
According to Wikipedia, he's still playing at 45 for Midland Football Alliance side Coleshill Town.
That's got to go.
Oh, Brian's got it.
Do you know it? Nah. Nah, not
What was that, sorry?
Nah, don't
No.
He's a cab driver, isn't he?
He's a striker. We've got the whole audience
I don't
transfixed.
think I know. Oh, I do know it. I think I do.
Oh, he doesn't.
Oh, he's got it.
I'm not 100% now. I did a guess because I don't think I know it. Is your name Steve Davis? A different Steve Davis to the other one. Or Sean Davis? Is it wrong?
It's Neil Davis.
Neil Davis. He was unlucky. He was unlucky.
Very close. Round of
unlucky.
applause for that. How annoyed are you?
To be honest, he never played, so...
So we've talked a little bit about a few of our loan signings. A couple we haven't talked about yet. Axel Twanzebe, Courtney Hawes. Hawes spotted at Villa Park this week, though again, no announcement. Out of those two, Hawes more likely to be here next year?
Yeah, we've got no chance with Twanzebe.
No.
I don't know if you probably feel the same.
Well, you said possibly that he'll be given a pre-season with Solskjaer, and then whether or not he'll decide to keep him. I think he's absolute quality. You know, if we could get him in on a permanent, he's phenomenal. Chance. He's absolutely phenomenal. Courtney Hawes, is it House or House? Hawes. I first saw him at Brentford away, and he was absolutely dreadful. Was he left back?
I mean, that again.
They were all dreadful,
great.
but
that was his first or second game as well.
His first start.
Yeah. But again, grew into the team, and I thought him and Mings formed a really, really good partnership. But yeah, I mean, again, a great squad player, I think. You know.
Yeah, I like Hawes. I think he was a little bit unlucky to lose his place, but I think when you've got Twanzebe and Mings bringing the ball out from the back, I think that offers you something that not many teams have. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think Twanzebe will play for England this season. If he stays at Man U, I think he'll get in the England squad. I think if England go back to a back three, which I think they might, I think he's ideal for the outside of a back three.
I agree with you, totally. Yeah, he's got so much composure, although I didn't quite see it in the West Brom game, in my opinion. But he has shown that he's come on leaps and bounds, and good luck to him. Hopefully he gets a chance at Man U, but if not, we'll welcome him back at Villa Park.
He's one of those players, I think back to when Kyle Walker was on loan, where you think, he's going to be a good player, he'll go on and play for England, and you kind of look out for them for the rest of your career. I think Twanzebe will be another one of those for Villa fans.
Mm. Yeah, you mentioned James Chester, you gave him a shout out. Just wanted to go through the released players because they have done some great things over, well, a few of them have. Glenn Whelan, Millie Ednack, Alan Hutton, Tommy Elphick, Albert Adoma, Richie Delat, Mark Bunn, Margaret Richards, Ross McCormack.
Who was the last one?
Ross McCormack.
Okay.
He's a Magaluf, isn't he?
I believe so, yes.
We probably shouldn't talk about him.
Allegedly, he is. So, at least the first 6 of those have given great service to Villa over a number of years. Who are you going to miss most?
Probably Whelan. I grew to love Glenn Whelan. I really liked him. I thought he was the right kind of signing. I know people slag off Bruce's signings a little bit, but I actually think Whelan was the right kind of signing to come into Villa at that time, and I thought he had a good season the season before as well. He wasn't very popular that season with the Villa fans, but towards the end of his time, he suddenly, like players do when they're about to leave, he became one of the most popular members in the squad.
Yeah. Well, the same with Alan Hutton, right, Chris? You know,
just on Whelan and who's on there, Jednak. I think Dean Smith alluded to after the game at Wembley. I thought it was a touch of class, sort of thanking Steve Bruce for bringing in John McGinn and El Ghazi. You know, just sort of because Bruce did, for all of Bruce's kind of flaws, I thought he had some really, really positive moments. But yeah, in terms of Glenn Whelan, people were kind of gutted that he went, but I think it was just the right time. It was the right time for him to go. I don't think he's Premier League quality at his age. I think we needed to sort of get rid of that bloated wage bill, and I think every player on that list, bar maybe Tommy Elphick, I'd have probably kept Tommy Elphick.
I wouldn't have minded seeing Tommy Elphick as a squad player.
I think he's had a really unfortunate 3 seasons with us. But apart from Elphick, I think spot on. Hutton had to go when he had to go, but again, he'll go down as a legend for what he did. But I think it's about right.
Yeah, Elphick signed for Huddersfield today.
Did he?
Huddersfield he's gone to.
I didn't know that.
He's a good player. Sometimes it can be the right signing. And I think at the time, I don't think many people would have turned around and said, "Nah, I'm not sure about that." I think everyone was like, "Tommy Elphick's a good signing. He's captain Bournemouth." They've gone up with him as captain, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes players just don't get any luck, and I think he's one of them players that just got no luck when he was at Aston Villa.
Dan, as a kind of Alan Hutton 360-degree man, you know, you grew to love the man. Have you got any words for him as he departs? Not that he's going to listen, but you know.
Yeah. Just you can't knock him at the end of the day. Even though I did knock him consistently for a few seasons, I was not a fan of him at all. But you've got to just admire him, really. I think that's the main word for Alan Hutton.
Yeah.
It's admiration. That goal that he scored against Birmingham is probably one of the greatest memories everyone in this room will ever have, because it didn't feel real. But as he was coming towards us, it was like the whole end was like leaning back, didn't know what was going on, and then for him to finish it as well on his left foot, it was just a magical moment.
It was madness, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was madness.
And to see Craig Gardner huff and puff and try and catch him was pretty special too.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think the gardeners should listen to this podcast.
Early doors they've been gone.
I mean, he isn't very good, is he, Alan Hutton? He isn't great, really. But he's kind of iconic. He isn't very good. He's kind of like,
you know, I mean,
like Queen. Do you know what I mean? Not very good.
He played his best football when we needed him most. When we were so short under Bruce, you know, Alan Hutton played left back. He played centre back, I think, right back. You know, I don't think that should be discredited for how much effort he put in across the back four at a time where we had four defenders or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just madness.
I mean, the situation we were left in defensively this season was just ridiculous. I mean, we called out early, as every Villa fan will have done. We called out early on the podcast. It was negital. And I nearly didn't manage to say.
To answer your question, Chris, I think he will do another job somewhere else. Whether it's, I wouldn't mind seeing him at Rangers, but you're talking about Sheffield Wednesday potentially, you know, Championship team.
I think
he'll do a job there.
Bruce is there, aren't we?
But he could do a job in the Championship still, in my opinion.
Oh, he'll get a Championship move 100%, but I think he's quite settled in this area, so I think he'd want to try and move somewhere local.
Right.
Hopefully not Birmingham.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd ever do that.
Nah. Well, let's see. This week the fixtures were announced as well. An exciting time in our calendar again, because we get to look at the Premier League fixtures. So we open away to Spurs, evening kick-off on Sky on Saturday tea time. Best time to play Spurs, do you think?
People say that it's better to play the big six early when they're not in any kind of rhythm, and you're a newly promoted side. Obviously, we'll have some new players. You might take them by surprise. At the end of the day, you've got to play everyone twice. But I look at our first 6 games, and I look at the home games in particular, and I'm not saying we're going to win all those games, but I'm saying there's a chance we can win those games, which I think is all you can ask for when the fixtures come out. Try and get off to as good a start as possible. Yeah,
I've got the first fixtures here. So we've got Bournemouth at home, Everton at home, Palace away, West Ham at home, Arsenal away, Burnley at home. So that takes us up to the end of September, Chris. Quite a nice start. Obviously, you've got Spurs and Arsenal both in there.
I'd take a point. Right.
1 point out of all of them, then we're struggling.
It's I mean, it'll be difficult. I mean, you just never know how it's going to go. I just feel really nervous.
He's already getting nervous.
I'm terrified.
It's a draw. It's a good draw for sure.
Well, I think everyone would take a draw against Spurs away. No,
I'm all out for 3 points.
Aston said that we'd win 1-0, didn't you? Yeah.
Brave shout.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we've just got to enjoy it. I think this season, I didn't think we'd be back in the Premier League so soon. I didn't think we'd ever be back. That league, I thought that was the Championship was just impossible. I couldn't ever see us getting out of it. So this season, I'm just going to enjoy it. Just have fun, enjoy it. I think as Villa fans, I think we should maybe get off the players' back if things are going a little bit skew-with.
Agree.
We just got to go with it and see what happens, because you just never know.
It's a bit easier said than done, though, isn't it to enjoy when if you're getting pasted or even losing the close games, the ones that you like.
But everyone says, "Oh, it'd be great to go and play Man City, and it'd be great to play Spurs." It'll not be, because we'll get battered. I want to play.
Good.
I want to play.
Chris Dolan feeling optimistic. Everybody. Yeah.
I want to play. Norwich at home. Every week.
We've got Norwich at home on Boxing Day.
I'll do.
And then Burnley away New Year's Day. Nice fixtures around Christmas time. You happy with those?
I can't see me making the Burnley trip around Christmas.
That's New Year.
Oh, New Year. I probably won't make that one.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think the whatever happens this season, I think even if we were bottom of the league at Christmas, I think Dean Smith deserves the season. I think Dean Smith's got to be given a few years now, because even if we were to go down, he's proved he's the right man to get us back up. So I think we've got the players that are there are good players. They want to be here. They're committed to Villa. They want to play the right way. Dean Smith wants to play the right way. I think he deserves the next 2-3 years to put his stamp on the side.
Question for you guys. What's the ceiling for Villa? How high could we finish, do you think, this season? Champions League. Nice, don't mind it. To the back there, sir.
10th.
10th.
I'd say 10th.
Aston? 12th. Avoiding relegation. Confident. Good. Top 12. Top 1. Don't mind it. Don't mind that. Champions. Right. Yep. Good. Some real ranging answers here. Dan, what do you think?
I think you look at the way Wolves have done things, and I think you have to take your hat off to them. Although we didn't like it when they were in the Championship, you've got to say they've done things well. They've found a loophole and they've done well, and they've got 7th. So I think long term, to try and get Villa amongst being 7th again, I think that's got to be the ambition over the next 2-3 years. But I don't think the gap between the bottom 10 in the Premier League and the top 10 in the Championship is massive. So I think there's every chance we could go for top 10. I don't think we'll be in a relegation battle.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see who's right, won't we?
This is why Chris isn't allowed on the podcast too much. Just FYI. Plus, I want to keep my seat. Chris, what do you think then? Do you think it's going to be a scrap?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I think the Premier League's moved on. Like teams like Bournemouth now seem like world beaters to me. You know.
I don't agree with that. I think we can do Bournemouth.
What, away? Home and away?
Yeah. I think we have to be looking at those games and going, we need 4 to 6 points out of those.
Yeah. Okay, if you say so. Then.
Yeah, but I agree. Kind of. I don't think from 20th to about 10th is up for grabs. You know, those teams, it seems, are so close together that we could definitely be at the top of that.
I think looking at Norwich and Sheffield United, they seemed like they were streaks ahead of us this season in the Championship. But I think whenever we go into the Premiership, we'll be ahead of them in terms of stature and in terms of having the nous. I think they'll struggle. I think Norwich and Sheffield United will struggle.
Yeah, I agree.
But listen, if we can just stay up and rebuild, I think it's going to take a while still. I think there's a lot of work to be done. And I said last season, I said the best thing for us was not to go up last season against Fulham. I think it's the best thing that could have happened to us. I think if we'd have gone up last season, it would have just been paper in the cracks.
Totally agree.
And, you know, we didn't go up. We rebuilt. We went on that amazing 10-game run, which we'll never forget. Again, I thought the last season's team, the bond was like, would never be beaten. But I think what Dean Smith brought, and I think, you know, Grealish being captain and everyone kind of, the whole Jack Grealish story was pretty fairy tale, you know. And for me, it's the perfect scenario, and I think we're in a better position now than we ever have been.
A better position as a club,
an entire club, fan base. We're closer together as a fan base. The club's in better hands. Perslow's saying all the right things. We've got Dean Smith in charge. I just think it's a great time to be an Aston Villa fan, and just try and enjoy it. Well, I'll try and enjoy it.
Absolutely. It's all you can do, right, Dan? Everyone here pays a lot of money to watch football. You've got to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think when you think back to the season that we finished 20th with 17 points or whatever it was, I think we know it's never ever going to be as bad as that again, hopefully. So you have just got to enjoy it, and I think I envisage it being a positive season. Obviously, we all want Villa to be a top 6 team, but at the moment that's not realistic.
It'll take time.
Yeah, it's not realistic. One day we hope that we'll get back to that again, but I genuinely think next season will be a positive season. I don't see it being one where we're fighting at the bottom. So
this is how busy the week has been for Villa. We're now getting to what was the first thing on the notes on Monday, the Aston Villa pre-season. A little trip to Minnesota United to start. You going there, Dan?
Yeah, didn't it cost about $7,000 to go to?
Yeah, it's not cheap. So
is anybody going to Minnesota?
We've got one in Minnesota.
Fair play.
Annoying that it's on at 1 a.m. Isn't it? 18 here, obviously.
I mean, we can't do much about the time difference between the UK and America.
No, but they could play it like later in the day there, couldn't they? Or no, or earlier in the day. Something they could do something. Shrewsbury away, 21st of July. Walsall, 24th. Charlton, 27th, and then RB Leipzig on the 3rd of August. Few people going to Leipzig.
Aston Radford's going to Leipzig.
Few people going to Leipzig. So, what do you think of that pre-season schedule? Hard enough? Too easy? What do you think?
I always think pre-season means absolutely nothing. Brian will probably be able to tell me whether it does. How important is pre-season results? Not very. For those of you that couldn't hear Brian, he said, Dan, you're absolutely bang on with your synopsis. That's what he said.
Yeah, opportunity to gel, certainly for that team. And there will be a few new faces, so that is going to be important. It's going to be an important time. And it's a time for Villa fans to get excited again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I think you just want to see your team win every game, but it's just it hasn't sunk in coming here and seeing Villa Park, and the fact that we're back in the Premier League hasn't really sunk in yet. So yeah, it's all great.
I'm just looking forward to having football back already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty grim without Villa, isn't it? Anyone enjoy their summer without Villa, really? No.
Good stuff. So has anyone watched Sunderland Till I Die? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. So this is the last thing to finish. Leeds have filmed The Season Just Gone,
Have they?
which is going to be mental. Can you imagine? So you've got Spygate, you've got the Villa game, you've got them all thinking that they won it by Christmas. What a series.
Derby County as well.
What a series that is going to be. Would you like to see Villa do something like that?
I'd like to be a part of it. I don't know whether
You'd like to present it?
Yeah, I'd like to present it. I don't know whether I'd like. Obviously, I would enjoy it, but it would depend on the season. If I was to watch that season that we came bottom of the Premier League, I don't think it would be an enjoyable watch. But if I was to watch that last season back, it would be unbelievable, the stuff you would see behind the scenes, just the complete shift and the way it changed and the way it was 3 or 4 seasons rolled into one. Obviously, a big playoff final, nervy last 10 minutes in the playoff final. I would like to see that. But not the season we finished bottom with 17 points.
So this season is no-go, unless they're employing you.
What, the Premier League?
As in, yeah.
I'll talk to my agent.
Okay. Chris, you like to see something like that for Villa?
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be on tenterhooks the whole time.
I'll be nervous. Yeah, I mean, it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? I think sport's become, that's the way it... Oh, what a legend.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my days.
Give this man a round of applause. It doesn't have to stop there.
Jay, the mugs guy.
Huh?
That's Jay, the mugs guy.
So
that makes the mugs for us.
Thank you
Give
very
Jay
much.
A round of applause.
Yeah,
for making it.
again. Yeah, Dolan, you'd like to see that for Villa?
Yeah, I mean, I always look at... You always look at adverts on TV. You look at like Liverpool and the whole Nivea thing, and you sort of wonder if do you want your club to be a laughingstock? But I think, like Sunderland fans, I think everyone respects Sunderland fans for what they've been through.
Until they got in the fountain.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah. But I think we've probably had our time now. I think if we were going to be filmed or recorded, it would have been better to do it under the last sort of years of Randy Lerner, because I think there were some pretty dark days, but. Why not? It's always good to see your club on TV,
Yeah.
I think the people behind the scenes now at Villa are too switched on to let something like that happen.
Really?
Yeah. No, it maybe could have happened a few years ago, but I genuinely think that they wouldn't let it happen now.
Yeah. Interesting. We're coming to the end of the podcast. Before we wrap up, first of all, I just wanted to say a massive thank you once again to all of you, but also to the man that's made all of this happen. Dan Rolinson has done a huge amount of work. Where is he? Lulu. You guys would not believe how much work this guy does. He puts in so many hours is incredible, and to put on something like this, which is just a dream come true for all three of us, and for yourself, I think. It was stressful, wasn't it? A bit. Yeah. So thank you so much, Dan, for organising all of this. It's been absolutely amazing. Just wanted to highlight you as a legend. Your Premier League, my son.
Can we just thank John and Jacob as well?
Yeah, absolutely. John Insley.
Yeah, obviously
Jacob
we had a small
Furnell.
football match this morning
Yep.
as well. So John Insley
What's the score?
and Jacob Furnell, I can't tell you the score. They've been helping us all day with filming and setting up today for tonight as well. So I just want to thank them as well.
Yeah, and a huge amount of thanks as well to the people on fan cams, everyone that helps the channel grow. We massively appreciate you. Dan, I'm going to hand it over to you to finish because you've got a special award.
Yep. Oh, God.
It's not the playoff final trophy.
No, it's not the playoff final trophy.
Can't give that away.
Although in the charity auction, if anyone offers enough...
Mick Dow won't mind.
As you know, we do fan cams all season. We've been doing fan cams for the last 3 years. So we've got a special award for someone who's grown very special to the channel, someone who we all love, and we're all very proud of how far he's come in his life and how well he's done. He's obviously had some issues in his life with health, and he's just a great young lad. So Tom, do you want to come up on the stage? Got you a little trophy. Fan camera of the season. Well done, Matt. Give him a nod, give him a nod, give him a nod. Is there anything you want to say to the Villa fans?
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Why didn't we just get him on? That would have been much better. So that's it from the Villa View podcast, but it doesn't stop there. We've got this venue for ages. So what we're going to do, as you well know, there's a raffle. I'm going to run through some of the prizes now. We've got IT headphones, Ian Taylor headphones, that is. We've also got a wicked auction. Hang on.
I thought you were doing really well at coming across well tonight, and then you've used the term wicked.
Wicked. Do the kids not use wicked anymore?
I don't think so.
No?
Tom will tell us.
Very trendy. All right. So, we've got a 17-18 home shirt signed by the whole Villa squad. We've got Dean Smith's training jacket. We've got John Terry's training trousers. If those trousers could talk.
And a jock strap as well.
So get your raffle tickets. Start thinking about your auction. Go and see Brian. Thank you so much for doing this. Brian, welcome to the Villa View podcast.
Thank you. Normally we're in a box somewhere, being nice and quiet and talking, and me talking forever, isn't it?
It was only 9 hours, Brian. So.
Yeah, I broke the record. I think when I was first asked to speak to the boys, I think we had it planned for a sort of an hour or something like that. I think we did four. There was 4 episodes of the thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
we had to spread it out, to be fair.
So such is the length of time that I've been around the place. It's always great to see Steve Stride here as well, who's, a great ambassador for the club and everything. It's just fantastic, And we started. I mean, I think I was just before Steve. Well, probably just before Steve, and I remember Steve coming in, and we've obviously known each other for a good 50 years now. So it's brilliant to see him around the place.
Brian, I just wanted to touch on this season for a little second.
Okay.
And what a remarkable season it was. How was it from kind of your viewpoint?
Yeah, it was. I think like anything, you look at situations that people come into, and at the start of the season, with the problems the club had in the closed season, you were wondering what was going on. I mean, we lost some really good players, with Snodgrass especially, so who became a little bit of a legend around the place because of his mannerism, which I thought was great. He was great. So the team got off to a pretty difficult start, to say the least. The sort of work you would like to do in a summer leading up to a new season really wasn't anywhere near as organised as it should have been. So it was difficult, and I think there was a lot of things even at that time. People sort of suggesting, is it time for Steve to go, or do we keep him? Even that was in the air, But I think to have changed too much at that start would have been really quite ridiculous, And in fairness to the manager, he wanted to stay, he wanted to try and do it well. He'd had a hell of a tough ride the previous 3 months leading up till the end of the season, In fairness to him, never missed a day. had an awful lot of problems going on. I'd called in the training ground a few times and just caught him dashing out to drive up north to see his parents and things who were having a bad time. So in fairness, he deserved the opportunity to try and take it on. It was never quite as organised as it should have been or could have been. And he obviously took the brunt of it as time went by. So that's a prevailing memory, because he's a good bloke, you know, and he was someone who I got on quite well with. So that was the start of it, and it was very reminiscent of the 12 games that Roberto had to come in, you know. And the irony was the 12th game was pretty much the same time as Roberto had left that year or so before. So there was so many characteristics initially that were very similar to the first season where we had problems, and then, you know, there was a completely different feel again, with a different type of a manager coming in, someone who knew the club well, who understood what the whole ethos of the place was, and was he the type of person? He was definitely the type of person. Was he ready for that? And the answer's been given to us all, 100% ready for it. So really pleased for him. Delighted that sort of passion, you know, he can understand, and I think sometimes the way the modern game is, you're bringing people into clubs who don't quite grasp what the club is about. We have someone now in charge who genuinely would happily sit in this room and listen to someone else talking about Aston Villa, you know, which is great.
We did invite him, Brian, but he didn't come.
Well, I think he deserves a little break, to be honest. So the result of it. But then you look at games, and certain games that stuck in your mind, and throughout the season where you were a little bit high and a little bit low, and then obviously that final run, which again was very. Again, I can relate to that looking back at 75, you know, that this season we went up when we went, but our run was from Christmas till the end of the season, where we came from nowhere. I think we lost one league game at Leyton Orient that year, and there was lots of things, and I kept saying it to people around the club, you know, not many people have witnessed momentum at this football club before, whereas I think I have, Steve certainly has, and there's certainly a few gentlemen in this room who would have witnessed the momentum from the team going down to the third division in 69-70, to seeing this team in a decade go from the third division to winning the European Cup. I mean, it was an incredible period to be part of the club. So, you know, when we started this run of which ended up 10 wins, it was just so similar. It was just so reminiscent of 75, where we just couldn't lose games, and we were going to go out there and we were going to smash it, and we were going to win something. So in the end, you know, when we got to the final, although I found it very difficult to enjoy the final.
I was the same as you.
And I was telling Dan before, and my wife sort of nudged me at 79 minutes, said, "What are you doing?" I said, and I've just took a picture of the scoreboard with 79 minutes and 2-0. And I said, I can't believe it's going this easy, you know. so like, you know, that, and because I was expecting something to sort of make it hard. And the last, and unfortunately, it did make the last 10 minutes. But we bossed that game for so much, you know. And
do you think you jinxed it?
No, I don't think I jinxed it. I just felt, you know, we have the momentum. We're a better team. I thought we were a better team than them in that game. And I just felt it was just a belief by then that we were going to go up inside of the dressing room. I've not been in the dressing room, and I'm not privy to that, but you just got that. It was just that similarity of being on a run. And I know it was an era I played. I can't do the Graham Taylor one because I wasn't here, but it would have probably been a similar momentum again, going back to the top flight. And this is the sort of club that you give it momentum. You get all these people in this room believing we're going to win a game of football. You get all the players out there, but you get everything going on, and the other clubs looking at it going, "Oh, it's Aston Villa." They're going, and it is a massive thing. It's an incredible thing to be part of, and I sensed that, you know, albeit towards the end of the season. But once we were in that run of winning games, I just felt that, you know, we could do it, and we did. So it was a real roller coaster again. There's a tremendous spirit within the dressing room. There's a tremendous feeling around the club that, you know, we seem to have found the right sort of people to look after it, which is great. And did I enjoy the season? It was difficult until that run of wins.
Yeah.
You know, because we were oh Craig, and I think at one point, and I don't think there's a person in this room. You know, I think even I sat down one point and thought, right, last 12 or 14 games, we've got to win. We've got to win 9 and probably only lose 1 or 2. And you weren't at that in this league. That's blooming hard to do. But
horrible league. Horrible league.
It's been an incredible season. It's been an incredible 3 years in many respects. And I agree. Like I've listened to the boys talking earlier. Perhaps it needed those 3 seasons to reevaluate what the club's about, to find out what it's all, and it's probably needed that to get back. You know, it might have been too early last year, and I'm gutted it wasn't last year for the manager, who was a good bloke, you know, and his players. But I think the time just seems to be right again. You just feel there's a feeling around the place, and you know, having been here on and off for 50 years in some way or another. I think I'm justified in giving that opinion, to be honest.
Just want to touch on something that you said. Do you think Villa are one of those teams that needs a Villa man in charge? Because I look back at the time I've supported the club. My favourite times have been when you and John Gregory were in charge. People that got Villa and understood Villa. Yeah. Dean Smith's obviously of the same mould as you. Do you think Villa's one of those clubs that needs that? Obviously, we've got
I'm not going to say it needs it, but it is. It's, you know, in my period here. In my time around the club, that type of person has genuinely worked for us. You know, that we've had, you know, when I first came, Tommy Docherty was in charge, and it was, you know, it fell apart. It was a mess. We ended up going down to the 3rd division for the first time in its history. You know, so we'd gone off in another direction there. You know, and I think there is something about having some connection with the club. Now, whether that changes as time goes by, whether the new owners with all of their capacity in years to come go off that rail, I don't know. But I do think it's been you know, football fans today are very into their own people as well, you know, and can often write off somebody before he starts in many respects. So I think it's great that Dean's in charge. I think he's a wonderfully gifted person. I mean, I watch their training every now and again. It's very diverse. It's very different to what's been going on the last few years. Not that the other people were doing it wrong, but it is very progressive, and there's a lot of new ideas which have been brought over from different veins that are at the club at the moment. You know, sports science is different to what it's been in recent years. The scouting has become different again to what it has been in recent years. So, and like anything else, I'm not here to judge the people before or the current people, but it just feels that there's something there which you would hope is going to be successful for the future.
In a similar vein, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, or it's uncomfortable, do current Villa managers ever kind of come and ask your opinion, because you are so storied within this club?
No, I think I've always gone to the training ground, and I always have 10 minutes or 5 minutes with the manager. He'll always come over and have a little chat, and you know, sometimes we'll talk about a 5-minute conversation about the previous games. And sometimes, being the sort of person I am, I often say something that I probably think, oh, I shouldn't have maybe said that. He might not agree with that, or he might agree with it, but you just don't know. I mean, you know, as you're seeing now, I talk quite a lot when I get going. And whether people listen to me or not, I don't really. But I don't say things that I think people want to hear. I genuinely try. It's just the way I am, I guess. I say what I think. Now, whether that has any bearing on anyone, I don't get involved with decision making. I'm not claiming any decisions whatsoever in any of the period I've been back here. But I'm a bit of a sounding board, and you know, even in the boardroom, I don't know how many things that I say might just touch a nerve somewhere, and so, I might think of that. Or at the same time, there might be a lot of things I'll say, they'll go, oh God, Brian's getting old now.
Do you think when the managers are about the place, they look, well, I can speak to Ian Taylor about this, or I can speak to Brian Little about this, and they just go to you?
Well, I would hope they'd go to me instead of Tails, to be honest. No, listen, I don't know, and there's nothing glorious about what I'm doing here. I'm here. It's great that I'm asked to be here. It's a wonderful thing for me to be around here, and I feel blessed in that respect. Because what else can I do? I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to go anywhere else and do anything else. I just would like to be here. I like to watch the games. I'd like to talk about I like to meet the players. I like to see the players. They're all great lads, in fairness to them.
Yeah.
The management and then the management from previous times have all been good. They're all good people. They all try their best in their own way. I just feel at the moment we have something which hopefully will take us on that next stage again. And I, for one, wish him every success at that. But and he's I think the way they work these days, he's very trusting of people around him. So, the people around him have got very important jobs to do, especially with the recruitment. That's been a major problem for quite some years now. Recruitment, because recruitment is the key to everything. If you're not producing your own youngsters, and that's very difficult for loads of youngsters to come through in any one given shot, but recruitment is key to being anywhere near successful. So, that's a very important part of the club now, and I'm sure that they're looking very closely at that and doing their very best to make sure that Christian is very clued in and clicked on, and he will have looked at and he will have made his assessments on what went on beforehand, and we wish him every success because he got a hell of a big job to do, and but you just sense that there is. There are some people who sit and talk to each other and sort it out, and it's not that department's doing that and that department's doing that. It's coming back together again, and I think that's massively important.
I actually think transfers have been a problem since 1997 when you sold Tommy Johnson. Would you agree with that?
Discuss. I'm going to step away.
Tommy Johnson is probably my favourite, one of my favourite footballers of all time. And I owed it to him to be playing football regularly, and I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to be told to a wider audience.
When I got a call off Celtic, and it was I think it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know whether the manager had been out and just got in and thought, right, I'm ringing Brian Little. But I was fast asleep in bed, in all honesty, and I'm going, but straight away, as soon as it came through, I thought, I've got to speak to Tommy. I owe it to him. He was brilliant for me. He played a lot of games, but a lot of the times I would play with the 3 midfield players. So, a Draper, Townsend, and Taylor combination. But whenever Tommy played, he was brilliant. And whenever Tommy went on, he was brilliant. Obviously, after he'd been sick in the corner, he was brilliant. But he was a nervous wreck. But he was a great lad, and I owed it to him. And when it was Celtic, I knew that was the call, that I've got to speak to Tommy. If it's right for him and he wants to do it, I've got to let him do it. And sometimes, again, going back 20-odd years now, the only place for players was to be in the first team. There wasn't the big squads that there is today, and they weren't all in a position where they were happy at that. A lot of mentality has been changed over the last 20 years with youngsters being developed and learning that if they don't play today, it's because it's best them having a rest and all sorts of different things. There's lots of mentality things that have made the modern day player different. But in that era, from a personal point of view, if I had 15 players and I could have played like Ron Saunders had his squad of 14 or 13, or if I could have had 14, 15 players that I knew I could keep happy every week, I would have happily stayed down that route. But it's a mentality change now, so they're happy to have 20, 22, 24 players who are first team players. Then it was Tommy Johnson needed to play, and I owed him that, and I'm not answering it again.
Dan, did you cry when Tommy Johnson left?
He did.
No, not. I've cried a few times in my life over Villa, but I don't think I did cry over that one.
Now we're going to start our auction very, very soon, so get ready. Now this is one of the beauties on offer. This is the first shirt I ever got bought by my dad.
That actual shirt?
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, it fit me a dream then as well. So Brian, when you look at a shirt like this, what kind of memories resonate?
I remember just the era, just the fact that I'm coming back to a club that at 15 I came through the bottom doors, and at 1969, and And obviously Doug drove in at the same time in his Rolls Royce, wound his window down and said, "One day you might have one of these, Brian, if you work very hard." So it always reminds me. I think anything to do with Aston Villa, for myself and Steve, obviously pretty similar as well, you couldn't think of it without thinking of Mr. Ellis, to be honest, because he was everywhere. Just when you didn't want to see him, you saw him. Just when you didn't want to meet him, he met you. Just when you were going home, he was coming in. You know, all of the things that you didn't want.
Unless you needed a package
But
holiday.
he was brilliant. But he was also brilliant. I mean, I remember taking him to sign Savo Milosevic, and I didn't realise that there was trouble going on in Yugoslavia. And he said to me as we took off, "You know, you're taking me into a troubled area here, Brian." And I went, "No, I've got no. I mean, I didn't read the papers in those days. I ain't got a clue." But he just, if you interested him with something, it was brilliant. At the other side of the coin, he could dismiss something with a wave of his hand. No, not doing that. So most things connected with Aston Villa for me, genuinely, Doug is sort of connected with it, you know. In that respect.
Beautiful.
I've got one last question for Brian. So obviously you've got your book here tonight, and the forward is by Gareth Southgate, one of your managerial disciples. So the whole of the last summer while I was watching the World Cup, all I could think about was the fact that Gareth Southgate was playing three at the back.
Yeah.
Do you think he learned that from you? Are you taking the credit for that?
I've spoken to Gareth before, and obviously as a manager, you know, my system was different to Ron Saunders' system. But my teams were based on Ron Saunders' teams. You know, you might not understand that, but you know, when we had a Mortimer, Cowans, and Carradus, you know, you can look at a Taylor as does a Carradus. You know, you look at Townsend. You know, he's doing the Dennis Mortimer thing. You look at Sid, and you've got Draper doing that thing. You go up top, and you've got a right-footed player on the left foot, Andy Gray, Brian Little, for example. Peter With, Gary Shaw. You know, and I've got a Savo Milosevic and Dwight York. You look at wing-backs who love to get forward, Gary Charles, and I've got John Gidman. And I just tried, and that's just my Villa things, but my Leicester teams and my Darlington teams were, you know, lesser players, but with the same characteristics. So I built a lot of things around Ron Saunders, and I think Gareth would have emulated people like myself, like his people other people he'd worked for, and he would have put his teams together like that. And again, the starting point for me with three centre-backs was we came in at a difficult time, so we needed to shore up, and we needed to make games a little bit tight, and we needed to make sure we didn't lose too many. And perhaps the same with England. He needed to shore that up a little bit to start with, have that extra man in there, but still playing a very progressive and adventurous sort of a game. I hope so. I mean, Gareth's a great lad. He's still a brilliant person. I've been to see him a couple of times, and that door's open, and he's so grounded, you know, which is great. So, and it's a wonderful story, his story, you know, coming to Palace, to us 3 months later playing for England, and now the England manager. It's incredible, but he's not changed. You know, he's still a very level-headed, very good person. And if I helped him in the slightest possible way, then I'm chuffed to bits with that. But, you know, I wouldn't claim that I had a massive effect on him.
Claim it, Brian. Own it. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Brian Little. All right, so we've got a few bits of business. Brian has very kindly agreed to sign this lovely top with whatever you'd like to the winning bidder. So we're going to start our auction with this. So I'm going to take my place at the table. I teased it before. We've got an absolutely amazing lineup of auction items here, and we've got a reserve on a couple of them because they're just so good. All right, so we're going to start off the bidding for this 1995-96 home Tom Julian first ever shirt. It's in excellent condition.
It is in very good.
So,
thanks to 1 to 11 Kits for donating it.
Thanks to 1 to 11 Kits for donating. They do great work. So I'm going to start the bidding at £40. Do I have £40? £40 at the top there.
Oh, £40 and 1 pence there.
Can I see 45? Do we have 45? 45 in the front here. 50. Do I get 50? 50 over there, sir. Thank you. 55. Somebody talk to me at 55. Yes, I see 55. 60. 60. 65. 65 there, sir. Thank you. 70. Can I get 70? There's a little, yes, like it. 70. 75? 75 at the back. Thank you. All for a good cause. Yes. £80. Who's going to give me £80? A signed shirt.
£80, Joe Morgan.
£80, Jay Morgan. Thank you. Can I see 85? £85. Sir, you're going back at the... He's scratching his nose. He's not sure about it. 85. We're at 80 right now. 85 at the back, sir. Going once. Going twice. Oh, we've got a 90. We've got a £90. Nice. See, Dave. Very nice. 95, sir. Can we see a 95? Anyone? No, he's dead at the back. He's got 95 at the back. Do I have a round 100? Let's make it 100 for AVFC Foundation. £100. Ash Lockyer, very nice. So we can have a bidding war over here. 105. Anyone for 105? 105. Jay Morgan, this is excellent start. Thank you so much. Going for 105 there. Once, twice. Sold to Jay Morgan.
Table. I gave it to Brian. Brian Little, what a legend.
Brian Little, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, next up we have the Unibet 2017-2018 home signed shirt, signed by all the boys, Snoddy, John Terry, Grealish, all your favourites. That's lovely modelling, I really like it.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to start this one at 40 as well. Somebody got 40 for the signed by the whole squad. Did I see a 40?
I'm doing your job for you over here.
40, yes, thank you. 45, who's going to give me 45 for this one? £45. This is an absolute steal right now. For the foundation, 45, see it. Anyone for 50? 50 at the back there. 55, sir? Yes, I like your style. 55, 60. We're going 60 at the back.
Mika Richards has signed the shirt.
We're selling it, Dan. We're selling it. 85. Do I see an 85? Going once at 80. Going twice. Sold for £80. Thank you very much, sir.
How are we taking this? Thank you. What's your name?
Corbin, mate.
Corbin. Nice to meet you, mate. Thank you very much.
It's decreasing value every moment you've got it on. So this is Dean Smith's jacket, ladies and gentlemen. Dean Smith wore this training jacket. How does it fit you? I've got no idea.
It's a large, I think.
Do you want to shout loud?
It's a large, I think. Oh, sorry.
Working with amateurs, like welcome to my life, am I right? All right, John Insley's starting the bid at £40. Do I see £45? Yes, please, sir. 50 from Rich Griffiths, yes. 55 at the back, James Rushton. 60 in here, sir. Who's going to give me £90 for Dean Smith / Dan Bardell's training jacket? £90. Come on, this is an absolute bargain. Going once at 95. Going twice. Sold. £95.
Who did it go to? Who did it go to?
Now, this is the one you've all been waiting for. John Terry's worn tracksuit bottom. 45. Who's going to give me 45 for JT's Cax? Here we go. There it is, 45. I knew you would. 50. Somebody give me 50 for these trousers. My goodness, if they could talk. £50. Yes, please. 55. Who's on 55? £55. Yes, I see it again. I like it a lot. Imagine lounging around the house in those. £70. Who's going to give me £70 for these trousers? Yes, you are. 75. 75 is a nice clean number. Can I get £100? £100 for John Terry's trousers. This is amazing. What do we think? 120. How is this? 125. Oh, you can't give up. No. 130. This is ridiculous. 135. 140. 145. He's calling it out. Ooh. Going once. Going twice. Sold. Wow. £140 for John Terry's trousers. Put 'em on, put 'em on, put 'em on. All right, this is a big one, and I thought, I mean, John Terry's trousers are a big one. Easy, it's a family show. All right, so we have the unreleased player issue white third shirt from the 2017-18 season. These are very, very rare. You do well to get hold of one of these. Dan, what size are we talking?
I've got to be honest, this is very small. It's a small, but it's player issues, that makes it even smaller. But you can't really get this anywhere. You've never been able to get it anywhere, so it's a decent shirt for collectors.
We've got 100 over there, 105 from Lynch in the front. 110, sir? 110? Yes. Lynchy, 115? Yeah, he's doing it. 120. 120. We're looking for 120. This is a very rare shirt. Going twice. 100.
Wait. Yeah.
Yes, 120, sir. Like your style. Leave it late. 150, 125. Money can't buy a shirt, but it can buy because we're doing it. 125. It's going at 120. Going once. Going twice. Sold for £120. That's a bargain if you ask me, sir.
Well done, mate. There you go. Do you want to hold it?
So this is a Jack Grealish signed training top. Yeah, a wonderful, wonderful bit of kit. You're not going to get this anywhere else. We're going to start the bidding here at £60. £60 for this one. Yes, we're in. 65. Yes, sir. 70. 70. Do I see 75? 75. 80. Talk to me at 80. Yes, please, sir. 85. £85. Yes, at the back. Thank you. Yes, that's what I like to see. 120. Who will give me 120? This really is an unbelievable prize. 125. Going once. Going twice. Sold. 125. Thank you, sir. Now, this is an original Le Coq Sportif 1981 away top. Again, a lovely bit of kit. Size we talking, Danny?
I think it's medium.
We think it's a medium. Squeeze into that, can't you? Let's start it at £50. £50 for this one. £50 at the back there. 55. Somebody give me 55. Yes, please. Thank you. 60. Thank you very much, sir. 125. Do we have 125? Yep, again, this is nice. 130. 130 over there. 135. Do I have 135? Excellent. 140. 140, yes. 145. 150, sir? Yes, very good. 155. Yes, 230. 235. Come on. It's for charity, Rich. You know you want to. Yes, 240. We have it. 245. 250. Oh, can we raise it to 260? Oh. Is that 250? Oh. Do we get 260? Yes, 260. 265 over here. 265. 270, sir. 270. This is incredible. 275 with you, Rich. 275. Do I get 280? Do I get 280? Yes, I do. 285. That's it. You're calling it a day? We're at 285. Going once at 285 for you.
Call
yes,
it 300 and it's yours. 300 and it's yours.
No, I mean, that's not the way auctions work, mate. 285. Going once. Going twice. You're in? 285 over here. Wowee. 290, sir, at the back, yes. 295. No, that's it. You're calling it. So we got 285. We've got one. Going twice. Amazing work for ABFC Foundation and Alzheimer's UK Research. That's so important. Thank you, sir. Amazing, amazing stuff. Thank you. So this is a signed programme by Jack Grealish from the playoff final. You're not going to see many of these around. All right, so a playoff programme costs you a tenner, so we're going to start this at 20. Can I get 20 for that? Yes, please. 25, sir. Yes? 30. 30 here. 35? What are we feeling over here? £80. It's going at... Yes, £80. Thank you. Do I have 85?
Oh.
105. Excellent. Wow, 110, sir? No, you're out at 105. 105 going once, going twice. Sold to Tom Griffiths. That's a lot of pocket money.
Well done, mate.
Unbelievable. This is great. Thank you so much. So this is a 2018-19 match-worn signed shirt. It's Neil Taylor's shirt. It's a Remembrance Sunday. Very, very rare, obviously, match-worn shirt. What size is it, Danny?
Extra small, I think.
Extra small. So a nice one for a frame or a very small person. 100 at the front. 105. John Insley at the back. 110. Give me 110 for this. We haven't hit the... There we go. 110. 115. 130. Do I see 130 from Rich? Thank you. 135. Dolan, are you putting your arms up? Dolan's going there for 135.
His hands were up.
Look at him. No.
Your hands were up.
135. Do I see 135? Anyone give me 150 for it? Give me 150 for the foundation? Yes, 150. Thank you, sir. 155. Do I have 155? Yes, thank you, sir. Going once, going twice. Sold. Thank you very much.
Who did it go to?
We have hospitality tickets for two, for courtesy of Luke Roper. So this is a very, very nice prize. 2 hospitality tickets. We're going to start the bidding at £150 for these. 150 straight away. 160. 260 at the back. 270. 300. £300. Thank you, sir. 310. Do we have 310? Yes, at the back. Yes, 370. Thank you. 380. Yes, 390. He's out at 390. We've got 380 so far.
Got 400.
400. He's bid on his own bid. That's unbelievable. 400. Any advances on 400? Any advances on 400? Going once, going twice. Sold. Thank you so much.
Well done, mate. Thank you very much. Quick fire. I haven't got anything to give you, but I'll sort it out. Go through them there.
Right, that concludes the official auction, but there is one more prize. Now these are money can't buy, all right? Tom Julian's Villa View live notes. Now nobody else will have those. Now if you haven't been able to win anything and you do want to give a bit of money to charity, then that's pretty much all these are worth.
We'll even sign them.
I mean, that would downgrade them. But it does include the squad numbers game. So, you know, little bonus to test yourself. So I'm going to start this at a bag of peanuts. Anyone going to give me a bag of peanuts? Yes, Max Stokes, thank you. Let's start with a £5. Who's going to give me a £5 for these notes? James Rushton, a £10. Rich Griffiths, thank you. 15? Yes. 20? Max Stokes, thank you. 25? Rich Griffiths. £30 for Tom Julian's notes. Yes. 35? Yes. 40? Yes, please. 45? Stupid. 50? Who's going to give me 50 for these? Who's going to give me 50 quid for my notes? Come on. They're not worth 50 quid, but it's a great cause. Come on, let's raise it up to 50. Somebody's going to give me £50. I don't want to put my arm down until it happens. It's going 45 at the back with Rushton. £50.
Cybered on
yes,
blue.
Cybered on blue.
Yeah.
Come on. Any advances on £50 for these notes? Going once, going twice. Thank you so much.
That's a joke. That is it. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
2 seasons justified. Guys, my maths isn't great, but I think we've just raised over 1,500 quid. That's absolutely wicked. Thank you. And we think the raffle is over £900 as well. So you guys have done absolutely amazing work. Unbelievable.
Martin actually donated the 81 shirt that raised so much money earlier, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Here we go then. Oh.
78.
Congratulations, sir. IT7 headphones to you.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, man. Thank you, really appreciate it. Well done, man.
Well done to everybody that won, everyone that bid. Thank you so much to Brian Little. Thank you to Dan. Thank you to Chris, Dan Rolinson, everybody that put this on. Thank you so much for coming. Safe journey. Have a good night. Thank you very much. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.